So Wraith is a Warframe I know a lot of you are pretty excited to be seeing added into the mix. Another edgy soul for you to wield, literally soul, but, big but, we also know that there are 2 other Warframes that are set to be added into the game before the end of the year. Hey, what's up you beautiful feckers, how you all doing? Now, Broken Warframe is set to arrive with the Heart of Deimos, and we got a great look at their abilities and incredible visuals during TennoCon. Their movement and body parts looked absolutely great, but before I dive into the Broken Frames and everything about them, I wanted to show off another Warframe that has me more excited, I think, than Wraith and Broken Frame combined, the Alchemist Warframe, the Law of Equivalent Exchange. I know, someone's already typing it, okay, I got there first. This is the Alchemist Warframe. We know little to nothing about the abilities, but the frame itself was originally designed based off one of the Warframe designers, the weapon designers, lunchtime doodles. So Nikita, the guy who designed the Current Prime and the Pangolin Prime, had an idea, doodled it at lunchtime, and now it is about to become a reality, and I feckin' love it. This frame will be serpent based because the serpent is apparently the symbol of an alchemist, and there will be tubes that go all over and around the Warframe that may be serpent visually, and Jeff said that the serpents themselves will be incorporated into the suit along the arms and will have their own animations and can separate from the body. So, snack attack. I'm hoping that's going to be a reality. Now, we know he will also have a mask, like some kind of asthma mask we've been told, and I'm thinking knocks like Warframe, so those kind of sounds. Snakes sound like they are going to play a very big part in the Warframe's abilities, and we see in the artist's render that there is also a big snake needle that is hanging down from the arm. So that's the Alchemist Warframe, and the only real things we know about the design. The helmet, I believe, has a chunk taken off it because it was blocking the camera when you were using them, and he looks like he's pretty far on in development, which is great because that's the only Warframe right now that I'm really looking forward to, the new Mad Scientist Warframe. I'm kind of thinking of the guy from Hellboy, the movie, the Johann Kraus guy, that type of Warframe, only I guess poison instead of ectoplasm. But anyway, Broken Warframe was of course also shown off during TennoCon, and they are called Xaku. This is them. Xaku is the community themed Warframe that has been made up of 3 different Warframes combined together, and there is no denying that they 100% look like the broken version of Ultron from Iron Man. Visually, their parts are being held together by energy strands or void strands that look kind of similar to, I guess, the wisps that you see around Revenant or even the Eidolons. They have a custom dodge animation. Their idle animation pulls the faceplate off their face, which kind of cool as well, really kind of disgusting but cool. Their abilities and visuals are pretty damn solid. Their first ability is called Zata's Whisper. This will imbue all of Xaku's weapons with additional void damage, so a bit of a damage boost. Their second ability is called Grasp of Loke, where Xaku can steal enemy weapons and use them for themselves. It will make them fire upon enemies, dealing additional void damage as well. Now this ability, it is said during TennoCon, could hold an infinite amount of weapons while also scaling in damage, which honestly sounds insanely powerful. I mean, Protea's turret doesn't even scale in that kind of respect. So maybe, and this is just me thinking outside the box, you could expect something about this ability to be tweaked before it gets added into the game. And this won't be compatible with Eidolons either, so forget about calling them the new Eidolon Hunter, although imagine if they could rip an Eidolon's weapon off and use that against them. It would be kind of badass. Now, Xaku's third ability has a few different functions. You can rotate between these functions in a similar way that you can with Vauban's grenades or Wisp's motes and so on. This ability is called the Lost, and it allows you to rotate between 3 distinct Warframe abilities from the 3 different fallen Warframes made to build Xaku. So, the first function is called Deny. It's basically a void shockwave that shoots out some kind of void beam. It deals direct damage to enemies, or it creates a crowd control if the enemy survives the attack. The next function is called Corruption. This fires a fissure. When enemies are inside it, they get crowd controlled. The third function is called Gaze, which creates a horrifying scream. This one sounds really cool. Any enemies caught inside that screen or inside the range will take a damage debuff to their armor, shields and so on. So basically their defenses get reduced or get weakened, which could be really nice with a bit of additional range, and it probably scales off additional power strength as well. So that's the Lost with its 3 separate abilities, which leaves us with Xaku's ultimate ability. For Xaku's ultimate, it is basically called the Vast Untime, which apparently is a radial self-destruct that allows you to run around as a spooky, scary skeleton. Enemies hit by the shrapnel when you cast this ability, and I guess your body parts explode off you, will take damage and also be crowd control. So crowd control plays a huge part of this Warframe's, I guess, ability set. Nearly every ability has some form of crowd control added to it. The really cool thing about this ultimate though is that it gives you a 75% damage reduction while also allowing you to move much faster. So if you can throw on some other damage reduction mods on top of that 75% base damage reduction to increase your tankiness, or you could also subsume another ability into Xaku's to increase that later on once the big walnut gets added. All in all, leaves me thinking that Xaku could be an incredibly good Warframe. It does sound like he's got a decent amount of damage potential while also crowd control potential, not to mention damage reduction thrown in there as well. Now, all in all, not the meme frame I thought that Xaku was going to turn out to be. I was kind of afraid of what way this was going within the community, a broken kind of meme-based Warframe, but sounds really bloody good. In fact, the Grasp of Loke ability, which gives you the enemy weapons that apparently scale as well, like I said, sounds like it could be really good. Also, the unlimited amount of weapons you can grab with that ability could have him as a seriously powerful Warframe. Now also, we know that you can get Xaku or some of their parts at least by doing the Cambion Drift open world bounties, so it should be simple enough to get his parts depending on RNG. His main blueprint, however, might be tied to reputation. You might need to be maximum reputation with one of the new factions in order to get his blueprint. That's just a guess from me, but let me know in the comment section below what you think of Xaku and of course that Alchemist themed Warframe as well. Like the video or don't, subscribe or don't, and as always, thanks very much for watching.